Welcome into the Desert Vibe, yet another edition of the podcast that covers what's going on musically across Arizona, the Valley, Tucson, up near Flagstaff, all over the place. And as we've mentioned, we are really blessed with all kinds of different things that we can talk about and all kinds of different people that we can talk to. I'm Glenn Gardner.
I'm Jamie Ray.
And I think, oh yeah, wait a minute. Let me read my script. I'm Walt Richardson.
Oh,
He's
yeah.
so old, he's forgotten his name.
I'm Walt Richardson, and I'd like to welcome everybody here. And we have as our special guest today, the one, the only, Mr. Tim Sadow. How you doing, bro?
Boy, speaking of people that get around Arizona, you play with everybody.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, really, it seems like every time I turn around, it's such and such and Tim and so and Tim and
He
Tim
hasn't
and
played with the
Tim
Blindsiders yet.
Well, yeah. Well,
That day, that will be the end of your career.
yeah.
No, it
We'll
won't. It'll
save
be
that
the
for retirement. Save that for
Tim. You
retirement.
don't even know. You'll never have to play with Walt again.
But Tim is a violin player, and really, probably like the most adaptable musician that I've ever played with. You seem to be able to bend to any genre. You can even make someone horrible like Jamie Ray sound good. It's an unbelievable, talent, and it's funny because most of the times when you play with somebody, you'll say to them, "Hey, I'm gonna do this in F, or I'm doing this in G, or and I don't care. I don't need that."
Well, I'm actually tone deaf, so it doesn't matter.
No wonder you and Walt get along so well.
The secret is out.
But what is this something that has always been part of your DNA, or is it something that was acquired over years? Because I know you started, you've played in Celtic bands, you've done all kinds of different things, and we'll get to that in a little bit. But I think where you've kind of settled in Arizona is really being this person who can augment almost anything and make it appear incredibly effortless. And is that something that has developed over the years, or just something that there it is?
Well, when I was a kid, of course, I was being raised as a classical violinist, but my older brother played trumpet, and I actually liked his kind of music better. So like I would be playing Tijuana brass music and listening to Maynard Ferguson, whatever. And then I started just putting albums on and just kind of jamming around. So I always had that ability to just play, regardless of the music without having to read music. So it makes it fun. Variety is the spice of life, as they say, right?
It is. It
Yeah.
is that. Glenn, you mentioned that you see Tim playing along with a lot of different musicians. When I met Tim, he was playing with another musician, and we were passing each other, going in and out of a nightclub called Chewy's. And so I just enjoyed watching him play. It wasn't until many, many years later that we played together.
Yeah.
But I never imagined that there would be a violin player in my band at any
Right.
point in time. But as you go through the years, and how did we meet and play our first gig together? How did that happen?
Well,
Uh,
my son and I were living in Ahwatukee, and you were playing, I think it was called the Elephant Grill
Oh yeah,
in
yeah, yeah, yeah,
Ahwatukee.
yeah, yeah.
And
We
my
played.
son and I happened to go there to eat, and here you were playing. And it had been years since I had seen you because I was out of the music scene for a long time raising my kids. And I said to my son, "Oh my God, I know that guy." So I went up and you said you remembered me. I don't know if you
Yeah,
really did,
yeah, I did. I did.
but
Walt,
I
is
did.
that one of the many places you put out of business over the years,
Well,
or
yeah, yeah.
because I don't remember that place being around anymore? But
No, no, no. That was one of them when made sure was done and over and done with.
Yes.
Yeah,
It wasn't that long after that they were gone. Yeah.
right, right. No, now that makes a lot of sense because I remember it seemed like all of a sudden you were on stage with this, and then when you started playing, what was it? Some long ones gigs or some?
No,
It was
well, you had, when I talked to you that evening, you said that the band was going to be doing a show in Scottsdale. And of
ah
course, Emilio and Tom were both in the band, and
yes,
they were in my first band. So you
yes,
said, why don't you just come and play with us and surprise the guys? And that's how it started.
yes, yes. I
And
remember
then
that.
we were playing at Belo's regularly back then.
Forever,
Yeah.
forever. That was a fun. It was you, me, Hannes, and then whoever else showed up.
Is
Right.
that another place you put out of business, or
Yeah, eventually.
I
Eventually.
figured because they're not around anymore either, are
No,
they?
no, no.
No.
You know, I played it. These are call it clubs with no names. Went from there. When my first time I saw Tim play was at Chewy's, and he was in a band called Joy Lobo, and did they call Joy Lobo and the band Coco?
Yep. Yeah.
And you were doing a lot of funk and things. Oh my God, you guys were awesome, and they filled the room with energy. And we would have to go on stage maybe like the next day or maybe right after that or something. And Joey Lobo was probably the hardest hitting drummer I've ever met in my life since then. And he looked like had marched 20 or 30 miles. When he come off the stage, he'd have a towel wrapped around him, he's sweating and everything. And it's like, man, you're working hard for the money. But that was a
Yeah.
great band. What was your experience with them in terms of the music and all the talent in there? There's some talented musicians in that group.
Yeah. Well, like I said, that was my first band,
Mm,
and it was mostly funk and R&B. So I was playing a lot of what would be horn parts or
hmm
keyboard parts or whatever. We did have a lead guitarist, but none of those other instruments. So
Yeah.
I think that really was the foundation for me developing my style of doing fills and stuff like that. I often think about being like a horn section or whatever, you
Well,
know?
you do fill in and kind of like work with the melodies that you hear in the song structure, your timing of when you come into a song. It's like a lot of people, don't take into consideration, let the song build and
Mhm.
then come in. And when you do come in, it seems like you've picked up enough of the information about the song. You know where to land, you know where to start from. That doesn't get in the way of, of what's going on. And I think Jamie Ray would have an experience there when just her and her acoustic guitarist when they're playing, and having you sit in with them at some point in time.
I would
That might
love
be coming
that.
up.
It
That might be
is.
coming up
It's on.
soon.
It's in my day planner. I just haven't
Go.
haven't had a moment to chat with you. We're not going to do it here because
Yeah,
I don't
but
like to give things away.
Right.
Walt said that once I play with you, that'll be the end of my career or
It
something.
won't. Walt just doesn't want to lose you. That's the problem.
Hey, bands have this. Every band has a revolving door.
Yeah.
People just come and go, and my stage is an example of that, man. We would look up there sometimes and didn't know who was playing lead guitar. Somebody showed up, or maybe two of them showed up. We say, okay, go ahead and play.
Until he says, "Don't let the revolving door hit you in the ass on the way out," then
Hey
Yeah.
Tim, while we're talking about that revolving doors and being on stage with other people, I have a question for you that I really would love to hear your answer. Some artists become more fearless as they age, more confidence, and others become more guarded, as they age and over time. How's time changed you creativity? I can't even say that word.
Creatively.
Creatively.
Okay, I
I
was
need
going
to
to
go back
say,
to school.
I was going
Yeah,
to
how has it changed you?
I'm not going to answer the question until you can say that word.
I can't. Walt's gonna have to say it for me. I graduated from Gilbert High School, so there, we didn't learn too much there.
Did they have
How
a high
has it
school?
changed you creatively?
No, they haven't learned. They didn't learn us well there.
No,
That's
they
right.
didn't.
That's right. You know, I I don't know. I think it's an always evolving process.
Mm,
Like when I spent 10 years in the Brazen Heads, the Irish rock band,
mm,
I had never done Irish before. So I started
mm.
having the Irish influence in my playing. And then I would start playing with Walt again, and he even made the comment, "Your playing has become kind of too Irish now." So, but now, for many years now, I've played with so many different people in so many different genres. I don't think I have a particular style. It's my own thing,
Yeah.
you know?
So since your music ranges so much from genre to genre and band to band and artist to artist, which side of your musical personality feels the most natural to you?
Oh. Well, no particular genre. Um, hmm, I don't know. I don't know. I just become part of whatever music it is.
Mm,
Yeah. I very much am somebody who plays from the heart,
mm.
and I hope people feel that, uh,
Yeah.
the passion in my playing and stuff. And
They
it just goes for whatever I'm doing.
well,
Yeah, and that's why
definitely.
my mother loves you. When she watches you play, and I think everybody knows my mother's a musician of her own right, vocalist. She just thinks she wants you to be in my band so bad. She can't stand it.
Wow.
But yeah, she can see that in you, and I think everybody can. At least people that understand what we're doing when we're up there, it just flows out of you, and it's so natural and you blow my mind when you're on stage.
Ah,
So yeah, I think you're great. So I think that's true about you. I
thank you.
do.
Can we just end the podcast right there on
Yeah, that'll be
Yeah.
it.
that point?
Let's. Well, you know my motto. We played together, Tim. My motto is always leave them wanting less.
That's why you don't get paid to play anywhere.
Right.
And I've lived by that rule. It has served me so well.
Yeah.
But one of the things, Tim, that when I get the opportunity to play along with you, that I've noticed is, some folks that play a lead or a signature instrument, particularly violin is one of those instruments that cuts through the mix. It's not an instrument that kind of lays back really, unless it's a pad, unless you're playing something underneath something else. But when it's a lead instrument, it's loud, and it's obvious. But you have a particular knack of knowing kind of where to place it and when to place it and when to lay back without a whole lot of direction. Again, is that something that you've strived for, or it just is something that kind of you've noticed, hey, this really works well, and how did you come to that?
I have a couple answers for that because people have asked me that before. One is I think it's the classical orchestral background, that
Mm,
there's so many different parts in an orchestra and stuff, and it's not always your time to play or your time to stand
mm,
out.
Yeah.
hmm.
Are you hearing this, Jamie Ray? Are you listening carefully to this?
Taking notes, Glenn.
Yeah.
Taking notes.
I just wanted to make sure.
Taking notes. I hope my band doesn't watch this podcast. I'm in big trouble if they do.
But I mean, when we're playing together, and when you're playing with Walt, when other people I've seen you play with, many, no one's got a chart in front of them,
Right.
so it's just got that. So what you're saying is that classical training of, well, there's a place for this, but man, you're doing it on the fly.
Hmm.
Yeah, and the other factor I think is I you I like to say play within the music. And if you're just playing all the time, all the time, all the time, you have to let the music breathe and
Mhm.
play when it's appropriate and play when you can bring a part out and know when not to play to let the vocalist just be there or the guitar just be there. And I don't like playing all the time when I'm
Mm.
playing.
You know, he's right now he's getting more gigs. Anybody listening to this right now is going to be calling up saying, "That's what I've been looking for." You're going to be getting a lot of gigs after this podcast is
See?
posted.
Yeah. Yeah,
That's
and
Um,
what, just
exactly right.
I'm first.
one more thing before I toss it back to Walt, Tim. That clown picture behind you is freaking me out, man.
I
oh,
love it.
It
I
is
love it.
totally freaking me
I
out.
love
I
it.
mean, I feel like
No, I love
I'm in a
it.
Stephen King movie or something, you know. Oh
I
my
love it. I
God in
wanted to say
heaven.
something about
That
it
is
That
earlier,
cool.
is
but
one sad ass clown
I
boy, I'll
love
tell
it.
you.
I have a story about that, Jack.
Go ahead.
It was actually painted by that old comedian Red Skelton.
Are you kidding me?
Was
No,
it?
he was very well known for
I
painting.
love Red
I
Skelton.
do too.
Yeah, and it's actually autographed by him.
Oh my
Wow, was that
How did you
gosh.
how
Gertrude
did
and Heathclips or
I
something
love
like
it.
that? Or
how
yeah.
did you get it?
When I was a kid, I collected autographed pictures of my favorite sports stars or actors or whatever. And I would write to people and try and get their autographed
Mm.
pictures. And so my parents knew that, of course, and they gave me this for Christmas one.
Oh,
Wow.
that's
Wow,
awesome.
that
Yeah.
is so
Yeah.
cool.
That's very
That
cool.
is cool, but it's still freaking me out.
No, it's awesome.
Well, now you
Before
can't see it,
But
Glenn.
but wait,
I can see it in my I can't unsee it, Tim. I
so
cannot
so
unsee it now.
so go ahead for the the opportunity of viewers. Go ahead and put it back up, and
Yeah,
and
because that's Glenn
we'll
can look
take.
somewhere
Like
else.
this?
That's
I
all right. I'm
love
going to
it.
therapy this afternoon
I was going
anyway,
to say,
so it'll
yeah,
be okay.
yeah.
Yeah.
We'll
We'll
send him to
spend
the
the hour on that.
yeah. We'll send him to the trauma center later on.
Yeah.
Hey,
So
Tim,
Yeah.
before Walt takes over, because I'll never get another word in, I just got to ask you this because I want to hear your perspective on this because we're the Desert Vibe's all about Arizona music and the people, behind it and everything, all the musicians here. So, from your perspective, what makes Arizona musicians different from anywhere else?
Well, I can't compare to anywhere else because I don't really know anywhere else. When I grew up in Philadelphia, I didn't do alternative music or anything. So
Mm,
it wasn't really until I came here that I got involved in a music scene. But what always strikes me is the camaraderie in our music.
mm.
This past weekend, uh, everybody came to Glenn's birthday party. I mean, that was just so
yeah,
cool.
yeah.
And everybody
Yeah.
was everybody, and we're all intertwined in some way.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I don't know that that exists in other places, maybe, but I think it's,
Not
Mm,
in my experience, not like here.
uh-huh.
mm-mm.
And I've just because I've been a music gypsy most of my life, I have had the opportunity to experience a lot of different musical communities. Nothing like this.
Mhm.
Yeah, it's not. And I'm not
Yeah.
going to say the states because I don't want people there to hear me say it, but I've been
Like
all over.
Missouri?
Shut up.
Missouri.
I love Missouri, and it's Missouri.
What?
No, I mean I got along with people and everybody got along, but it isn't. It's more like everybody's like family here. It's
Yeah.
like closer knit than
It's so
other
good that there were
places.
people at that party who I would rather have not been there.
Like me. That's
I
why
mean,
you gave me the wrong time and I
that
was
is
late.
how tight this community is.
Hey Tim, you know how I got invited?
He
I
needed
ran, I
someone to
ran,
do sound.
I ran sound. That's how I got invited. Otherwise, they didn't even have me on the list, man. Like,
Yeah.
but that's all right.
I had you on a different list.
That was.
And Glenn, those other people probably wouldn't have shown up if you didn't pick them,
Well,
right?
That's right.
well, there is that, Tim, and there was cake there. So,
Yes, yes.
It was an
Take the
expensive
money.
it was an expensive birthday party. So I
That's
have
what happens at 70. You got
that's
to
right,
spend the
exactly.
money to
hey,
get the people there.
it's
Seriously,
just a number.
it's just a number.
It's
But
not, though, Glenn.
he had a birthday at the right number. He had the party at the right number of the day, for because of his number. You can't put a birthday party after 6 or 7 o'clock in the
Three
evening.
o'clock in the afternoon.
Three o'clock in the
It's like you
afternoon.
go back to when you're 5.
Yeah,
You
you could
have
do
your
three
birthday
o'clock.
party at 3 o'clock in the afternoon. You're in bed at 7.
Yeah,
You know,
they can get home and get their meds and all
you
that
pee
kind
in
of
the
stuff.
bed. You know, it all goes back to the same
Stuff. It reverts to the same
the
thing.
same thing.
Okay, I have a 3-part question, and it goes like this. First of all, um, you have written some original compositions. I want you to talk about that. I want to hear your story of how you came to Arizona and where you're from, and you can tell us about your kids and grandkids. And I think the third one you just answered because it folded into what Jamie Ray asked you. So it's really 2-part. Any original compositions, if they are, how can people get a hold of them? And your story of how you arrived in Arizona.
Okay, I'll try to remember both. I'm getting
Okay.
old.
Okay.
I have never been a prolific writer.
Mm,
So there isn't a lot of that. And there's so when I was in the Brazen Heads, I started writing Irish fiddle tunes,
mm,
and some of them became the basis of our original music.
mhm.
Our second CD had a handful of things that started with fiddle tunes that I wrote,
Cool.
and then somebody would write lyrics, and it would become a song.
Yeah.
But other than that, many years ago, I was recording original music that I was hoping would get into TV or movies.
Mm,
Tried to approach that, but it never happened.
mm.
And honestly, I haven't written anything since then. A lot of times I write things in my sleep,
Oh.
and and then I'll wake up and think, yeah, in the morning I'll go ahead and record that. And then by morning I don't remember it.
We all know that trap.
Welcome to my
Yeah,
world. Yeah.
So,
yeah.
how did you end up in Arizona?
Well, grew up outside of Philadelphia, and I was going to Temple University in North Philly.
Okay.
And my parents had come out here to visit and loved it. And they loved Indian jewelry and Indian arts.
Mhm.
And so they started buying like Indian jewelry and wearing it around Philadelphia. And there, I'd never seen it before.
Mhm.
And my dad was a salesman for an electric supply company, and people started complimenting him. And he and my mom started selling jewelry off their own bodies.
Oh
And
my
so
gosh.
they decided they would move out here. My 2 little brothers and them moved out here, and I was kind of bouncing back and forth because I wanted to finish college there. And then I moved here permanently because when I graduated, the job market there wasn't all that great. So the first year I was actually traveling all through the Southwest with my older brother. We were salesmen for my mom and dad. They had started a full-time Indian arts business, which lasted for years and years.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah,
That's
So,
cool.
so
yeah.
what was your degree in?
It was journalism. I actually wanted to be an advertising copywriter,
Oh,
and
Wow.
it just never happened. In my senior year back in Philly, I got an internship at a small advertising agency, and the guy who owned the agency said, it's not a paid position, but if we use any of your ads, then we'll pay you. So I had done the first semester of senior year, then I came back out here for a while. I'm driving up the freeway back into Philadelphia on my way back. I hear one of my ads on the radio.
oh,
Wow.
So I go into the agency and I said, "Hey, you used one of my ads." And he said, you didn't write that, I did.
Uh-oh.
So I never got paid. I never got credit for it. And that was my one experience in the advertising industry. And I never did it.
Wow. So when you got back out here, you still had another career. Then you worked for Motorola or something
Oh,
like
that came later.
that. Yeah.
Yeah. Uh, when I was bouncing back and forth, I actually worked at a furniture store in customer service, and they would hire me back when I'd come back in town. And then I was doing the traveling thing for my mom and dad for a year. And then I started having a real job, which ended up being working at Motorola. But I was the manager of a company that was contracted out to Motorola for a long, long.
Mm.
Yeah, you did that for a while because that's what you
Yeah.
were doing at the time when we were playing at Belo's.
Yes.
So running from that gig to our gig.
That
Yeah.
place isn't around anymore, is it?
Motorola.
Not if Walt
No,
played there.
Belos.
Oh, Belos. It's
Not
a
if Walt played.
Yeah, it's a dueling piano bar, I believe.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
They don't want Walt there. They turned it into a piano bar.
I'll tell you what, when they decided that that era was over, they shut it down because Belo's was the happening spot
Mm.
Yes,
on
it
Mill
was.
Avenue for a
So that was
long.
another place yet that you've put out of business.
Yes, yes.
Nice.
So,
Yeah.
Tim, what's kept you rooted in Arizona all these years? Is it the music?
Yeah, yeah. I mean, at first when I moved here, I didn't really like it here. I thought it was really boring. Uh, but yeah, the music. I mean, you make all these contacts and friends, and when my son had to move because of his job to Cincinnati a few years ago, he wanted me to move there, but
Mm.
I mean, I miss my grandkids and him and all my kids and grandkids so bad, but I just don't want to move. I'm just kind of
Mm.
entrenched here.
Yeah, well,
Uh,
we love having you here, and
Yes,
they'll circle back through. By the
they
way,
will.
I just want to say this on a side note. Your grandkids are great. When you brought
oh,
them to the show over there at the chill room, they were just sitting right there on the couch. How old are they now? Your two,
Hayden is 14 and Kinsley is 8.
Yeah,
they
they're
were
so
so
polite
glued.
and so good.
They were so glued into what was happening on stage musically. Do you have any musicians down that far down the line there? Any
Uh,
possibility?
a couple of I have 14 grandkids, by the way.
Oh God.
And, yeah.
Wow.
And
Hmm.
a
So
couple,
I only met two then.
yes,
I
only
thought that's all you had.
No,
no.
no, no.
Wow.
You heard of the old lady that lived in the shoe? This was the next door
Wow.
neighbor. This was the old man that was living next door
That's a
to the
big
old.
That's
shoe.
awesome.
That's a
That's
big
Yeah.
shoe.
awesome.
Yeah, I mean, a handful of the kids have played instruments over the years, but right now, actively only one or two.
Hmm.
They're into all kinds of different stuff.
Mm.
A couple of them are great dancers and
Mm.
or athletes or whatever. One of my grandkids is graduating high school right now, and he was the captain of his school football team.
Oh,
And
cool.
so, everybody's into all kinds of different stuff.
That's good. They should be involved in a lot to figure out what they really are drawn to.
Mine are all in the same penitentiary, so it's easy for me to go visit them and,
Oh my gosh.
That's
half
great.
hour and you're off to the next thing. It's,
That's really great.
isn't it?
You're further
Yeah.
than a half hour from me.
I didn't say
That-
your penitentiary over there
Yeah, I
in
bet
Florence.
they're
I
in
just
this
said
one.
a penitentiary.
I know you, so I bet they're in
Yeah.
this one. So, Tim, you've seen the music business evolve very organically from years gone by, correctly? All right.
Yeah.
But we're dominated now by algorithms and social media. So, do you think authenticity is getting harder to find in the music industry?
My goodness, that is such a intellectual question, Jim.
Good
Right?
question.
I'm smarter than I look and what they give me credit for.
Well, I emailed her the question before the show, but I'm not, it's all right. It's okay. You can go ahead and answer anyway.
He was in a chain. He was in a thread.
Oh my God.
Oh, you know, the music scene obviously has changed so much,
Hmm.
but I mean, I don't know. I mean, like when they first came out with synths and people would start using fake violins on their
Mm.
recordings and stuff, and it's like, nah, that doesn't sound like the real thing. You want the real thing. And now there's all the AI going on, and
Hmm.
but there's always these threats to live music, and yet we all just keep going on. You
Yeah.
know, we adapt, and but there's nothing like live music, you
Yeah,
know?
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, that's
There,
what keeps us going and keeps all the people who love music going.
Yeah.
you can get in tagging on to that question that Jamie brought up. You can get good ideas from AI and all that kind of stuff, but that the product that AI put out is no different than, say, if you were in the 60s or 70s and you had an album of your favorite artist, the whole band would listen to the album. But when they
Hmm.
got out there and played it, it sounded nothing like what the album sounded like because you couldn't get there.
Hmm.
Because the people that were playing it were the people that had the energy going through the instruments and everything and the recording techniques. The same thing with AI. You can listen to it and go right away and say, oh, that's AI. You can hear the whole
Hmm.
format of the song, AI, Nashville writing, AI.
Hmm.
But if somebody was to take that song and go and play it acoustically on an acoustic guitar, it's that person's interpretation of how that final product
Hmm.
is. And people can take it and go any which way with it. I mean, you just hear some of these songs out there that somebody took a pop song and slowed it down
Hmm.
to half of what it really is, and a whole different meaning crops out of that thing. There was a I saw this the other night. There was a singer who posted up herself singing. I think she was singing. I think she was singing "Landslide,"
Was
but
it
she
Jamie Ray?
no, no, it was not. It
He said
she
singer.
slowed,
Singer.
Well, I do landslide. I don't know. I
but
changed it, so
see,
I thought it
this
was
woman
me.
had slowed it down so much so that it sounded like a jazz piece.
Mm.
And I thought to my, and she kind of had a Nina Simone kind of
Oh, cool.
approach to it. And I thought to myself, oh my God, she's going to make another hit out of this
Mm.
tune. And Stevie Nicks' song, Landslide, is going to get another breath into it as a whole different take. It's
Hmm.
amazing how we as human beings are able to do that kind of thing. So AI, it can do some work for you, but you still, when
Mm.
you get out to the performance side, there's something that happens with human beings playing the instruments and human beings listening to it. I don't think that'll
Yeah.
ever go away.
Right.
Mm-mm.
Hey
You know,
Tim,
Exactly.
Tim, how did you make the transition from from that classical world? And you and I have talked about some of your influences, in the past, and we share some common love of some of these artists. But what was your path from a classical musician, which is a really very different kind of deal,
Mm.
to a person that kind of became the go-to side person for
Mm.
a lot of different people, myself included, a lot of different bands. Was that conscious, or did it just go that way?
Well, so when I graduated high school, even though I was the concert master of the orchestra, I really didn't want to play anymore
Mm.
because I thought people considered me a nerd for playing the violin. I didn't realize that it actually could be cool. So most of the way through college, I didn't play at all. And then
Wow.
there were these singer guitarists who found out that I had played violin and they were doing a gig. And they said, why don't you just come and sit in with us? So I did, and people loved it.
Mm.
And then soon after is when I moved out here and that's when I ended up deciding I want to try and be in music again.
Mm.
And that's when I met the guys in Joey Lobo and Coco,
Yeah.
and yeah,
Because we've talked about people like Jean-Luc Ponty, which I know is a was a
yeah.
huge influence on you, and actually, I love his music, and I can certainly hear a lot of that. You know, just the way he can weave something into into a melody, and it kind of seamlessly works. Who else, be they Arizona based or just people out there who have had an influence on your style of play?
Well, I I really think I have my own style. Uh,
Mhm.
I remember
Dude.
one time I was playing a some kind of outdoor thing on Mill Avenue with Walt, and friends of mine showed up, and they didn't even know that we were playing. But one of them said, "You know, we heard this music from a block away, and we knew it was you playing."
Ah,
So people just know my style, but my two biggest heroes way back when, Jean-Luc Ponty was one of them, and the other was Stefan Grappelli. I don't know
Oh,
if as
yeah.
you're familiar. I
Django Reinhardt's fiddle
Yes,
yeah.
player. Yeah.
I absolutely loved their music and his style. I saw him play a couple times when he was like in his 80s,
Oh,
and
Hmm.
wow.
he was still amazing. The
Yeah, I
I
mean, these are really
personally,
fluid players.
Yes.
Him, Papa John Creech was another
Mhm.
guy that I remember listening to,
Or
thinking, because again, when Walt and I grew up, Jamie Ray, she's still, she
yeah, I like Charlie
child of,
Daniels. So,
yeah. But it's funny because our childhood was very guitar based with
Oh
the
yeah.
Beatles, with they were all guitar bands basically. So when you heard a fiddle, I think it keyed me in. People like Sleep at
Charlie
the
Daniels.
Wheel, and Charlie Daniels actually he was late '60s, early '70s. He came out
He
of that
was.
Marshall Tucker band,
Yeah.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Capricorn, Allman Brothers kind of thing.
Yeah.
But the people that that got me to pay attention to fiddle music really were in effect doing kind of like guitar lead stuff on a fiddle,
Yeah.
which was kind of new then. Because you're right. I mean, violin. You look at classical charts and whatnot. It was a very structured world, and you kind of blew that up.
I just had a brilliant idea.
What you want to
Sorry,
do?
go
You want
ahead.
to do like Beethoven's Ninth or something?
No, but there's a song that I've always wanted to do, but I can't because I don't have a fiddle player. But Tim, you got to do it for me because now I can do it.
oh wow.
What,
I'll
what
think
song
about
is that?
it.
Devil went down to Georgia
Oh,
Oh, there
Oh
is that one.
wow.
I thought you were going
because
to say
I
the
want to
Mexican
do it.
hat dance.
We can do that, but I'm not Mexican, so it
Da da
wouldn't
da
sound
da
right.
da 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 da.
No, I've always wanted to do it and have Patrick Sultan Barrett just play it on guitar, but I don't. It's not authentic to me. I don't like it. So Tim, I'm signing you up for to do it with us.
You know, Jamie Ray, that's like somebody yelling out, "Do Freebird."
yeah. It is.
No.
I know.
It is. Hey, hey, Tim. The main thing that I've known about classical musicians, when you ask them to come and sit down and jam with you, I don't care if they play piano or anything, whatever instrument, they freak out. They say, "Oh, I don't do that," or "I can't do that," and they're very talented classical players. But the idea of jamming and sitting in with music, like traumatizing them, it's
Yeah.
crazy. So when you say, "Oh, I was a," you played classical music and that kind of thing, um, you kind of break through that stereotype, and I think what I get from you when you say it is I think, yeah, you can be a classical musician and come and jam. It's
Yeah.
not that different. I guess they get so locked into what's in front of them on sheet music
Hmm.
that when you get out there and you say, "Oh, this is just in C," they look
Mm.
at you, but you guys don't have no papers in front of you. No, we don't have no paper. We ain't making no paper either, you know. We're doing the gig for free. But can you talk about that a little bit? Have you talked with classical musicians that have the same kind of um, avoidance or trepidation?
You know, some people have no interest in improvising.
Yeah.
And,
Mm.
and like I said, from a very young age, I was able to do it.
Hmm.
And I think you can develop it if you want to, but I mean, for me, it just always came naturally.
Hmm.
Mm.
But not all classically trained players are can improvise. It's just not in their DNA, I think.
Oh,
I think it does come naturally. I think that's something that's naturally in you. I mean, it feels like it has to be, I think. I don't know.
Yeah,
I because I've had a guitar player that could play it. He didn't need charts or anything, but he could listen to a song and play a cover tune. But if we said, okay, let's extend that, they were like lost, like didn't know where to go, you
well,
know. So I think it's a natural thing.
as a songwriter and having recently gone back into the studio to do a project, I can say this, and I'm sure Jamie Ray and Glenn will agree with me. If there's people out there listening to this podcast and they have an idea of having a violin player on their tune or their song or whatever, um, you know, start with Tim, and
Well, I get him first.
you'll be starting at the top of the list, and in terms of putting sounds to the music, the work
Mm,
that you did with Amy um,
yeah,
came out very well on her recording.
I love
And
that album. It was
yeah,
great.
Amy's another singer-songwriter that we'll have here on the podcast when she probably gets back from Australia. She's
yeah.
going on
Hmm.
a little fun
They would call it a
vacation, maybe
walkabout.
a
Walkabout.
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 She's going on a walkabout.
Yeah.
But you're the go-to person there, Tim. I'm gonna just say that for people,
I agree.
and so hopefully folks are jotting down your name and everything from looking at the podcast and information up on the website. And you're going to be getting some gigs, and you will hear your song on the radio, and you will get paid for it. Um, you're
And
happy.
of,
Famous,
So
famous last words,
famous
Tim.
last words.
and of course,
Well,
you guys will all get a percentage.
Oh
So,
But
yeah,
of course,
of course we will.
that's
That
why we're
one
promoting
penny.
this.
yeah,
One penny.
yeah.
I want to
Have you ever
ask.
split a penny?
They don't even make them anymore, Walt.
Yeah, they don't
yeah.
make pennies anymore. That's
Oh,
right.
what am I going to do with the ones I have?
You just put them on your
Hang,
wall.
hang on to them. I'm sure they'll be worth something someday.
Yeah, you're gonna have to leave them to somebody in an inheritance because you won't be
Yeah.
here.
Well, you know what Walt said about your playing, Tim, is so accurate because you know when we played it was some gig we played and I played one of my originals and it's funny because Lauren said to me, you know, that was never really my favorite song that you've written, but what Tim added to that song
Mm,
brought it to a totally different place. And she
yeah.
said, I like it a lot better than I did.
Huh.
And I think that ability is exactly what Walt's talking about. I mean, particularly when you record something, it will live on that way forever. It doesn't
Hmm.
change. It doesn't evolve. You know, that's the art right there.
Yeah.
As opposed to live performance, which can, you know, evolve, change. Different day we feel different. We play something differently. But you know, how do you approach that? Do you think about that when you're in the studio with somebody, or is it just the same for you?
I would say it's the same. I just like to hear the music, feel it out, hear if it's vocals, hear what the vocalist is doing and just compliment the music.
Mm.
Yeah. And
I've had some coffee talk with Amy, and she mentioned that about you, what you brought to that and to the album, and because I asked her, I didn't read the album because I just listened, and I said, "Was that Tim?" And she, yeah, you do that. You just come in there naturally and give it what it needs, and it makes it something totally different. Because Amy even said that it was just a whole different song. So. You do.
Yes.
You're the best.
uh, you
And
guys are
it
too
looks like he can.
complimentary.
It looks like he can do it in his sleep. It feels so
Yeah.
natural and everything.
Yeah.
So, Jamie Ray,
Yes, sir.
speaking of Tim performing and everything, isn't there something coming up at the Chill Room on what, the 24th?
The 24th, yes,
Yeah,
there is.
and so
May
Ti
24th.
May 24th. So Tim is going to be on that gig.
I'm so glad. My
Yeah,
mother will be so happy.
that'll
So
be a lot of
happy.
fun.
Yes, she loves you guys so much. Glenn, not so much, but
Well, that's why I'm not on it.
Yeah.
you're
That's
welcome
kind
to
of obvious,
attend.
isn't it, Jamie Ray? I mean,
I can't afford you and your washing machines and your
yeah, I've
goats.
got an extensive rider.
That's going to be great. May 24th at the Chill Room because that's, and when you play with Walt, it's just, well, when you play with anybody, but there's just something there. It's a great sound. I love
Very
it. I'm
musical.
Well, we
excited.
we should probably wrap up soon
But
because
I have one more
we're up against
question.
the hour. No, we should still wrap up.
I
No,
have
I'm
one
just
more
kidding.
question.
Go for it,
It's
Jamie.
important. So this is the last question, but I just want to ask because I want people to know because you have collaborated with so many respected Arizona artists. Not me yet, but we'll get you there. Um, what is it that musicians understand about each other that audiences sometimes don't ever see?
Oh, wow. I'll think about that and get back to you.
Next time on the Desert Vibe, live, loud, and
Yeah.
local with
I think it
Tim
would. I think the
Sadow.
answer is addiction. Um, yeah.
Addictions. Put an S on that.
All right, that means you got to come back and answer my question.
Okay.
Yeah, and we're I just too. We say this at the end of every time we have someone as a guest on the podcast here that we literally just scratch the surface, but we are working collectively on some things that can extend some of the discussions we have in different formats, in different ways. And Tim, you'll definitely be involved in some of that because we love what you do, and you do elevate anything that you're next to. It's an amazing talent and an amazing ability, and I feel like I'm a better musician for having had you play next to me. On the occasions where you have. So, big thank you there.
Wow.
Yeah.
I'm gonna
Well,
have to go out and buy new hats because my head is so swollen.
That's what we do here on the Desert Vibe.
I
yeah.
guess.
Well,
Thank
it
you.
looks like that hat on the clown behind you could actually get you right back to where you need to be. That's a little small clown hat right there.
Good place to start.
Uh,
So, thank you again for being with us, Tim, and we do look forward to having you back. The story is just beginning. How many episodes have we done so far, Glenn? Do you
we're
know?
we're I think now we're like 6 or 7 months in, maybe
Yeah,
more than that even. So
yeah,
many. I mean,
that's so cool.
30, give or
Yeah,
take a little bit.
that's good. That's
Awesome.
good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so, yeah, thank you so very much being here. And Jamie Ray, you always ask great questions.
Oh, thank you. I just
It's
like to
true.
know things.
Yeah, I think
I like to know things.
that's where it comes from. Hey,
Well, thanks
so
again, Tim, and I'm
Thank
sure we'll
you.
see you soon.
and blessings
Thank
to
you
your
all.
family.
Oh, thank you. Thank you all. This was it was really fun. It was a
Yeah.
pleasure.
Yeah, for us
Thanks,
too.
Tim.
Thanks, Tim. See you
We'll see you
later.
May 24th at the Chill Room.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Right on.
All right.
Right on.
All right, that was fascinating, and he is just such an incredibly talented and putting all that aside, just a really nice human being.
So humble. Just
Yeah,
he
just a
is.
great guy.
He
Straightforward,
is.
just like that. You know, I've had the, I've been fortunate enough to meet his family over the years, and you can see that's the stock of the family, all of
Mm,
whom are pretty much in that same groove. It just goes to show how incredible families imprints can leave an imprint on society. When you have a very nurturing and loving and a family that you can feel safe around, that translates into the world, into your job, your all your relations. It's just yeah, it's just your
yeah.
overall being, just sitting in a conversation with someone like that. So yeah, Tim is that person, and
I had no idea he had that many grandchildren. I thought it was just the two
no,
that I
no, he's
met. That is crazy.
no that family tree has got some branches. Let's put
That's
it that way.
good.
Yeah.
That's
It's got some
good.
branches.
That's good.
It is a great thing. So I like
Well,
those questions that you
despite the
ask.
fact that
Yeah.
it's we're recording this on the 14th of May,
Mm-hmm.
and it is summer.
Yeah.
It is definitely
It is summer, uh,
100%.
but there's still stuff happening. So who wants to start off live, loud, and local?
I'll
I'll
start live, loud, and local because I don't have anything.
Okay, that's easy.
I just want to say congratulations to all the ASU graduates, all the
yes.
U of A graduates, all the graduates in AU, everywhere, all over the state. Congratulations. Go do great things. And if you're a musician, come see us at one of the open mics because we would love to hear from you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, live, loud, and local on this side of Tempe. I'm just putting a shout out for the event that's taking place at the Chill Room on the 24th, Sunday, 24th. It's kind of like it's friends of Jamie Ray's mother.
Yes.
Her
My
mother
mother
and
is having a nice little celebration.
yes,
It's
yes,
not a birthday, it's
no,
just a come see mom,
yeah,
listen to some great music with Walt
yeah.
Richardson and friends, and it's going to be fun.
Yeah, so that's what I'm gearing up for. Uh, and let's see. Oh, another thing that's happening at the end of the month is the MIM is put together
Mm,
a reggae experience,
I've seen that
mm.
advertised.
Is
and
Yeah.
that the right
I'm
date or?
it's yeah, it's the right month, and you can go to the it is
Yeah, go
this
to
month.
MIM and get the date.
Go to MIM and get all the information. But I will be a part of that whole
I was kind of wondering when I
experience.
saw that. Yeah.
Myself and Dowell, what they did is they're doing something very interesting. They're breaking it up into performance workshop kind of thing.
Oh,
And so I'm doing 2 half-hour spots. On the first day, the half-hour spot is about drumming, reggae drumming. So I'm bringing
oh,
Dowell
cool.
with me, and we're going to talk about the different beats, and then play some examples and everything like that. And on the second day, it's kind of like a reggae sing along kind of thing.
Mm,
So Dowell will be with me again, and we're on the schedule, listed on the schedule. But you must go to the Musical Instrument Museum website and then look at everything that they have going on, because there's workshops and performances going on for 2 days, all
well,
day,
that's
in
cool.
and outside and throughout the
That is
whole
such an
building.
amazing resource that we have
Yeah,
locally.
Yes,
yeah,
From the shows that they do, and if you haven't been there to see a show, there
right.
is no better venue I've ever sat in anywhere.
Yep.
It's intimate, it's
true.
comfortable. Every seat is amazing. The sound is amazing.
Incredible.
And it's kind of like one of those maybe somewhat hidden gems, which sits off the
Yeah,
101
Yeah.
in North Phoenix. It's like at the 101, and I want to say the 101 and Tatum,
Tatum.
right
Tatum.
over there. And Lauren and I, we're members over there just because we want to do whatever we can to support that place
Hmm.
because it's amazing,
Yeah,
absolutely amazing.
it is.
You can go there anytime throughout the year, and it's actually a, what do you call them, like a site location, or whether it's something, a destination. It's a
Destination.
destination, and you can go there any time of the year. And there's RVs
Hmm.
sitting in the parking lot where people coming from Ohio and everything have heard about it,
All
and
over
they'll
the
spend a
place.
couple of days there because it does take time going through all the levels of that museum. So if you have a chance to spend 2 days there, you're going to be able to take in more of the experience than if you are there just one day
Yeah.
trying to run through the whole thing. And on top of that, the food there
Is
is
great.
Hmm.
They've got a
so,
cafe there that's just
cafe,
awesome. Yeah.
coffee
I'm glad
shop.
you all brought all that up too, because I've spoke to people who think it's just a museum and they don't
Yeah,
even realize there's shows there. So
yeah. No,
it has everything.
and they bring world class artists into that place.
You know who I
And
saw there?
who's that?
Donovan.
Oh yeah,
Oh, sure.
easy.
And I
Yeah.
met him because I stalked him till I got to go talk to him. That show, I mean, I've seen other ones, but he's a storyteller and
Yeah.
it was just so good. It was so amazing
The
good.
only show I've been disappointed with was the Walt Richardson show that I went to
Yeah, I
there.
didn't go to that
It
one.
was oh,
I knew you were gonna.
whew,
I saw the wind up and the pitch. Come on, man. That was a slow ball.
oh, that was painful, man. That was 2 hours of my
I'm
life I'll
sorry,
never get
Walt.
back.
I'm not.
Never get back.
I'm not. I expected that coming. So, Lady Smith, Black Mambazo, okay, and I've
Mm,
seen Sunny Ade
Yep.
mm,
there, um, and the the 50th anniversary of Roberto Venn
Oh,
mm.
that
was
was
held
amazing.
there,
Yep.
and they brought in so many different musicians. They brought
Wow.
in one of the guy who had been in worked with Paul McCartney in the early
Mm.
version
He
of
was in
the.
Wings, actually. He was
He was
in
in
Wings.
Wings, yes,
Yeah.
and he was there. God, man, that guy,
Smoking good.
it was
Yeah.
it was crazy. But yeah, that's a nice destination place to be. So that's what's happening at the end of the month, and it's 2 days. It's a Saturday and a Sunday. Uh, so get on there, get tickets, and I'll see you there.
That sounds like fun. Yeah, and it's literally, I'm
You're not far
here in
from it.
North Phoenix. I'm like 5 minutes from there, which is awesome. And once it gets really warm out, and I mean we're just heating up now,
Yeah,
but it's a great place to just go kill an afternoon when it's 110 degrees or
It
whatever.
is.
And some of the you speak about live performance. Well, they've got one of the more interesting things there is they've got this room which is filled with mechanical musical
oh
devices.
yeah, oh yeah,
And I think this particular thing is called a melodium, and
yeah. I
it's
played on that
it's
thing.
it's it's fired up like a couple few times a day, and it's a whole orchestra in a band box kind of like, but all mechanical. It's not computer stuff. It was turn of the century kind of stuff, and they fire this thing up, and it's just amazing. But one of the amazing things because you can walk through a gallery there, and so there's the piano that Prince wrote "Purple Rain" on.
And
Ooh.
the piano that Lennon wrote
Imagine.
Imagine. Oh yeah,
And the drum set from Rush,
yep.
and on and on and on it goes, and it's pretty damn inspiring just to be standing in front of some of this stuff. John Denver's guitar that he wrote "This Old Guitar" on, and the backstory behind that guitar. So I mean, there's so much there, and then the museum is broken up regionally in different. So one wing is kind of like Asia, and then a wing is like North America, and then
Africa.
it's crazy. Yeah, I mean
Walk through Africa. Yeah.
it's just an incredible place. So I'm looking forward to that reggae thing at towards the end of May. that Walt's going to be taking part in. Because that's actually in my territory, Walt. I was going to
Yeah,
talk about
Walt.
that,
Well,
but
live,
you
live, and
know,
local, baby.
I know.
It was just it was. I spoke about it because it was just my turn.
There you go. That's okay. That's okay. Because there are some other things happening here. The Arizona Live Music Cooperative open mic on Monday nights at Enchiladas happens, but it moves inside. It's such a beautiful venue out there. When we can do that outside, we do it outside because it's mind-blowingly beautiful. But it's great inside too because it's the community once again of people that get together. And Cowboy Rex is the co-host of that one. Coyote Oties just went last week, every week on Thursday nights over in Glendale. And that is a beautiful new listening room. And actually, Walt and I are going to be playing there last day of May, doing a Sunday showcase down there. And it's a gorgeous, almost acoustically perfect room. It's really, really nice.
We're doing it. We're doing it at 1:00, right?
Yeah, 1:00 in the afternoon on May 31st. So that one is happening then, and there's still a bunch of open mics happening in the area. Jordy does a nice one over at Kimmy's on Tatum. And that's a Tuesday night one. North Mountain Brewing Company, that one is rolling through the summer. So there's plenty happening in the summer. It's just kind of the big, sprawling festival stuff. Obviously, generally is is not viable. And one thing I just wanted to mention before we go today is I just noticed before we signed on today that Clarence Carter passed away today.
Oh,
and
really?
Yeah, 90 years old, but one of these journeyman musicians who came out of Muscle Shoals,
Yeah.
and did a song. Probably best known song was Patches,
Yeah.
which was just a cool song that got covered a lot. But he did a couple of other things, like I think "Strokin'" was his song too, which was a real funky kind of double entendre kind of song that got done back in the 60s because you couldn't say certain things or allude to certain things. So you can figure out on your own, I'm sure, what the double entendre for "Strokin' is. But that's what that was all about. But there was an Arizona connection there too, in that Clarence Carter actually did a lot of stuff with a guy out of Tucson, another Clarence Turner. I don't know if you guys are familiar at all with Clarence Turner, but he's a Phoenix and a Tucson guy, and just a shame that we're seeing a lot of these folks now start to transition. And Clarence Carter was somebody that I listened to a lot. When I was a child, many years ago. So rest easy.
Yeah, my mama
Clarence
did too.
Carter.
They're both from Montgomery, so
Oh,
yeah.
that is right there.
Yeah.
I mean, that's where a lot of that stuff.
I'm sad to hear that. I didn't know that.
So, live, loud, and local. That's kind of what's going on, and this podcast has really started to develop some legs, and it's all because of you guys, and we appreciate that. So, I'm Glenn Gardner,
and our team, our silent
And our team, silent team. We do have a team.
We got people.
We do. We got peeps.
Yeah.
And you know what? I forgot to mention. Well, let's see. By the time this gets posted, it might be too late. But Emma and James are doing a show.
Oh, over
Oh
at
yeah,
over
at the
at
Kerr.
At Kerr Culture. I think that's what it's called, Kerr Culture, over in Scottsdale.
great venue.
on
It is.
Friday, May 15th.
Yes. So
Get your tickets.
Get your ticket. As soon as this gets posted later on today, you have one day, or you just have
What more do you need?
Day of the
You know,
show.
yeah.
Yeah.
What more do you need?
Exactly.
Well, I'm Glenn.
I'm Jamie Ray.
I'm Walt Richardson. Until we meet again, you be good to yourselves. Take care of one another. and let's give peace a chance.